Out to the starting line, the crew chief for Doug Coletta is Jim Oberhofer, and Jim, one of those reflective guys that said, you know what, we're not going to test this year. We don't need to. We were the runner-up at the finals. We're #1 here this weekend.
The car ran very well. They weren't going to make any changes, so they said, why test? Let's just bring it out here and take it out of the box and run it. Boy, it ran well.
He's up against the Brazilian, Sidnei Frigo. No upset here, just a hammer down. 372.5.
Frigo in for a ride there.
Sidnei with a great job of keeping that car straight. Boy, it has been a wild weekend. Couple that 372.5 time slip Doug Coletta just produced. He also went 329 miles an hour, but that's the bigger concern right now.
Wow. Now watch, put the cylinder out right side of your screen right there. And then the big backfire. As soon as it does, the piece must have got into that tire and blew it out. The good news is, and this is the key, as we say always in a situation like this, top field dragsters, the chute was coming out and the wing stayed intact. That allowed him to be able to do the great driving job to get that thing stopped safely.
Sidnei, a year ago, ran for the Rookie of the Year crown. He's a Brazilian. Says we'll see him this year, but not as much as last year. There's this little thing going on down in his country called the World Cup. Got to spend some time at home.
That's that soccer thing, ain't it?
Yep.
So, another of the top 10
man, that is just dramatic in slow motion, just to see what Sidnei had to go through and what's happening behind him. As a driver, you probably don't want to see this. Sometimes I think our super slow-mo cameras maybe show people a little too much, huh?
I've had that happen before in Topeka, and you take a look at last year, we had a similar incident, only a little bit worse, because Antron blows the engine, and both tires went out. So at that point, it careens over in the left side wall, and all Antron can do is basically ride it out at that point. That was scary.
All the way to the sand trap where the safety safari came and got him out. Not too much worse for the wear. Antron did have some off-season meniscus surgery from an injury to the left knee sustained on this crash, but you said Antron able to climb out A-OK. They'd go on to win in Gainesville, but already Gary Gerald here at Pomona to start the season. They're done in round 1.
With Sidnei Frigo, how difficult was it to keep that car off of the wall?
It's a little hard, but it's easy. I'm a little, how can I say, a little scare moment, but it's okay.
Have you ever been in a situation like that before in your career?
No, it's my first time.
What's the first thing that went through your mind, Sidnei?
Stop the car. As soon as possible, stop the car.
And you thought you were able to do it? I mean, were you concerned that it might get into the wall?
Yeah. I see the wall and see the calit in my side. When they blow up, I try to keep in my track, in my line.
You did a terrific job. Glad you're all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And after a great cleanup job by the NHRA Safety Safari.